On September 11, 2001, America was attacked by a terrorist organization known as Al-Qaeda. On this date, there were 4 coordinated suicide attacks in New York and Washington, D.C. 19 terrorists hijacked 4 passenger jets and crashed 2 planes into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. Also, another jet was crashed into the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia. And the 4th jet was crashed into a field after the passengers tried to take control over the plane. Nearly 3,000 people died from these attacks. This devastating moment in history left America in a state of shock and fear. Shortly after these attacks, America declared war on Afghanistan. It was obviously necessary to seek revenge for what occurred on 9/11, but whoever thought that we'd still be at war? On top of this, our country is in debt and we are still spending substantial amounts of money to support this war. I am Daniel Lawrence, and if I am elected president, I guarantee to reestablish the stability of our economy by taking soldiers out of the war and reducing the amount of military bases overseas. When the soldiers arrive home, they will have jobs waiting for them. Also, for those who would like to receive higher education, I will set up a new GI education bill that will cover the cost of all education. My running mate is Drew Brees, who is the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. We come to the fact that our country is spending tremendous and unnecessary amounts of money to support a war that should have ended years ago, and it's time to bring it all to an end. The main objective of any war is to win. But according to Joseph E. Stiglitz and Linda J. Blimes, authors of the article Estimating the Cost of War, the Iraq and Afghanistan wars were different. Unlike most wars, they were wars of choice. Iraq did not attack America, and we declared war on Afghanistan because Al-Qaeda launched the suicide bombings on 9/11. Therefore, America decided to destroy the Taliban government for the tragedy that they caused. This war has continued for over a decade. We have killed all the main leaders of the Taliban, but we are still at war in Iraq and Afghanistan. And the big question is, why are we still spending tremendous amounts of money to support a war that is apparently over with? If we took a look at the gas prices during 2000, they were about $1.95, and nowadays we're spending $60 to $80 just to fill up our tank. It's obvious that our country is on its way to a serious depression. According to Brillig.com, America is in over $14 trillion in debt. Part of this is due to the funding of war that is not necessary anymore. According to thecostofwar.com, we have spent over $800 billion in the war against Iraq and over $400 billion in the war against Afghanistan. Together, this adds up to $1 trillion of contribution to war. Therefore, if we end this war today, it would be a good first step into rebuilding our economy. Many people may think, well, if we end the war, what are we going to do with the soldiers when they get back home? How will they reintegrate back into a civilian lifestyle? According to James Wright, the author of the new GI Bill, it's a win-win proposition. The original GI Bill covered the full cost of a veteran's education. But today, the maximum assistance covers only 60 to 70% of the average tuition. This did not include room or board at a public 4-year university. If we enable the original GI Bill, it will cover the cost of tuition, room, and board, as well as incidental expenses for books to any veteran who will attend a 4-year college, a 2-year university, or a vocational school. When this original bill was first set up, the first year alone, 1 million veterans attended college. And within a decade, 8 million attended a college or a vocational school. This bill was largely responsible for the development of the new middle class and expanded American higher education. Before this bill was created, only 1 in 16 Americans had a college degree, compared to 1970 with 1 in every 5 Americans having a college degree. According to Wright, this new bill would have an estimated cost of $45 billion in the first 10 years. We spent that in the first 6 months in Iraq. And as of right now, the young people who are serving in the country, serving our country in Iraq and Afghanistan, they will not receive the assistance that the veterans in World War II received, meaning that the middle class will begin to unravel even more. According to Chalmers Johnson, author of 737 U.S. military bases, there are more than 2,500,000 U.S. personnel serving the planet, and military bases that spread across each continent. With this, it is obvious that our American democracy has spawned to a global empire. If we reduce the amount of bases we have, more soldiers will have the opportunity to better themselves and our economy. The people who have fought for our country deserve the chance to succeed in the civilian lifestyle, and with this bill being passed, they will. So, if I'm elected president, I can promise the American people that I will do everything I can do in order to rebuild our country's economy. In order to do this, I need everyone to place their trust in my decisions of withdrawing from the wars that we are involved in. Also, place your trust in my decisions of reducing the amount of military bases, because we are chasing a group of terrorists from place to place, and with doing this, we are spending even more money. And securing more territory does not necessarily result in greater security. With my vote, many young people can return home to their families and seek a profession that was not available to them, while at the same time rebuilding our economy. With my vote, millions of war veterans will make a great contribution as educated, resourceful, and creative civilians, which will better the people of our society and better our country as a whole. Thank you.